Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Tommy John Show. As always, I am your co-host, Tommy Lane. That is Johnny Mishaz, and always our head commentator, gruesome Gavin Delaney. And good to be back.
Oh, yeah,
we had
for sure.
2 weeks off. How do we feel rested?
Oh, yeah, a little hiatus. It's good for the soul, but I'm happy we're back,
Yeah, absolutely. So, Gav, good to. I know we had a few weeks off. A lot of sports happened, so now we actually have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been great talking to you guys. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I feel like we haven't really had much to discuss. We were kind of bringing
a lot of speculation.
A lot of speculating.
Very true.
And now I don't know why I feel a lot better. Oh wait, I know why. Because things have actually been happening in the sports world, other than UFC, golf, and trade rumors.
Yeah.
We actually have actual live sports.
Oh, yeah.
So
And absolutely, we're going to touch on that in just a second. But first, if you haven't subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Leave a comment if you want your questions answered, because if you leave a comment in the description, we'll make sure to answer it on the next episode of the Tommy John Show. And if you don't follow us on our social media platforms, Johnny, they can follow us where? On Instagram, I believe.
Instagram,
Yeah, Instagram.
The Tommy John Show.
Yeah, and also at Twitter, Facebook, you know the drill. And we're looking forward to putting some tremendous content out there. So, on that note, Johnny, let's finally talk about some live sports. First time since the Abbott basement, we've had live sports of the four major sports to talk about. Baseball came back. The NBA came back. The NHL came back. It was almost too much.
If you ask me, not enough, Tommy.
No.
I couldn't be more happy.
I meant at once. It was just like a tidal wave, but like a tidal wave of enjoyment. I felt normal again. Even though there's no fans, even though having the playoffs in August, I'm like opening day. I was like a Christmas. It was like Christmas morning
euphoric.
for me.
It's a euphoric sensation.
It was Christmas morning. I was running down, and then there was just presents everywhere, and the presents was LeBron, McDavid there, and I'm just like, what? Another one? It was just, I was freaking out, Johnny.
Oh, yeah,
I bet, and I think we were all the same way.
For sure. I felt happiness for the first time in a long time.
It's just finally I woke up and sports was on.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Johnny,
don't know
are you
if
okay? Are you okay, Johnny?
I am now, Gavin. Thanks for asking.
For 2 months he was just in a depression.
Oh, yeah. It was
maybe
just
longer. It was like 5.
It's like a state of hibernation,
Yeah, exactly. And we love doing the podcast with speculation because it's fun to speculate what's going to happen. But we couldn't really give our opinions on what's going on. Well, after 8 games into the NBA regular season and after the play-ins and a bit of the first round of the NHL, we finally have stuff to talk about. So, Gav and Johnny, let's talk about the NBA playoffs. And Gav, it's been pretty spectacular how teams look like they haven't skipped a beat in those 8 games, and we got our playoff matchups, Johnny.
Yeah. It's all set and finalized now.
And I believe when we sat here on one of our first episodes, when Memphis was the 8th seed, we looked at everyone and we said Portland was going to get in, right?
I believe we did.
Well, we must have had a crystal ball or something, because 3 games back almost.
Yeah, and it came all the way back in.
Came all the way. Why were we right, Johnny? Tell the folks why we were right.
The stellar play of Damian Lillard. I think he was the bubble MVP. I think he was named. He's just been on fire lately. He's been literally carrying them to wins.
So, Johnny, we always knew Damian Lillard was a sensational player, right? We always knew he was one of the top point guards in the league. I didn't know he was this bad. Like, not bad. I meant this disgusting. He is. Last 3 games of the bubble, he was averaging 50. I mean,
he was on fire. He's, for the longest time it was him. Like, we know he's one of the better point guards, but is he one of the top 3, top 5? Who's now? I think he's solidified his position as the number 3 point guard in the league. I only have Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry over him.
You still have Westbrook and Lillard, eh?
Well, a guy averages a triple-double like it's nothing, but we won't get into that.
I feel like some people have corrupted your mind about Westbrook. But right now, Damian. All right, but when we were looking at it, we were skeptical of Memphis being the 8th seed. We were like, they're good, but they're really young.
Yeah, besides John Morant, they don't really have that many.
And then when Jackson got injured, I'm like, they don't have much.
Yeah.
I was hoping more from the Pelicans. They were, in my opinion, the biggest disappointment in the bubble. They were only 2.5 out.
Mm-hmm.
And with that amount of talent and that youth, I was looking forward to it. Zion and Lonzo weren't that productive. Ingram still was decent in the bubble.
Lonzo was brutal.
We'll talk on Lonzo a bit later.
Brutal.
Yeah, but the Pelicans, nothing was going right.
Yeah. They need a couple more years, though.
Yes.
They're a good team, but they're going to be insane in 3 to 4.
Yeah, absolutely. They are just – I think youth is just their problem. They're just too young, which ain't a bad thing in the NBA.
But now they got the experience. You know, they got games under their belt. Next season's a whole new season. You know?
And Zion hopefully is healthy for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this now. We were very skeptical. I love this word skeptical today. Of the Phoenix Suns. There are 3 games out. We're making jokes. Well, they're just inviting anyone to the bubble. They invite Phoenix. Well, the Phoenix Suns just proved, I think, everyone wrong by going 8-0 in the bubble. And I got to say, even though they didn't make the playoffs, Johnny, I think that's the biggest surprise is that the Phoenix Suns won 8 games in a row.
I agree.
If you would have told me the Suns won 8 games over the last 2 years, I wouldn't have been surprised. But they won 8 in a row.
Yeah, no, I think that out of all the teams that were in the bubble, I think they had the best 8 games. Undefeated. Devin Booker played out of his mind. That game winner over Paul George was insane. I think they had the best bubble in my opinion.
So, mad respect to Phoenix. Even though they don't make it into the playoffs, there's literally nothing more they could have done. They won every game. They did their part. The pieces didn't fall.
It just came down to the numbers, and unfortunately, they were too far back to make it.
So that leads us to the play-in, where it was Memphis and Portland took that one, and we get the matchup of Portland
Lakers
and the Lakers, which I think is going to be an amazing matchup. Before we were thinking Lakers Blazers, we know Dame's good, but LeBron and AD. Yeah. But if you looked how the Blazers have played heading into the playoffs, and you look how the Lakers have played in the bubble, it's a close series right now.
I think, the Lakers have been underperforming, and I think the Blazers have been overperforming. Yeah. So I think that when playoffs comes around, zero dark LeBron. I can see the game being competitive, but I can't see Portland making it more than 5 games. I just can't see it.
My argument, I think this is going to be a great series and very close. And it wouldn't surprise me if Portland were to upset them. I think the Lakers are going to win, but it wouldn't surprise me. But what makes it interesting is sometimes number 1 seeds get comfortable.
That is true.
They're not mentally into the game. They're not in we have so many, we're up by a million games. Why risk it? Rest the players. Portland, for the last 2 weeks, have been playing playoff basketball because they know they have to win every game to get in. And lo and behold, they did that. So they're on a crazy high right now. And I think the same thing happened if Phoenix would have got in. Not that they're a better team, because they aren't a better team, but they're just so on fire.
Talk about their momentum, right?
Exactly. And they're in that mentality that we've been playing playoff basketball for 2 weeks now, where the Lakers just have to switch the gear, get ready for the playoffs. And we see this happen a lot in hockey and even football sometimes. The Baltimore Ravens this year were the number 1 seed. They rested Lamar Jackson, those guys, the last few games. Tennessee were playing for their playoff lives for a month. They had to win out to make the playoffs. They get in. They go to Foxborough, stun the Patriots. People are like, oh, well, they can't do it to Baltimore. Well, Baltimore took them lightly, and Tennessee went into Baltimore and beat them just because they just were used to playing playoff football. And the Portland Trail Blazers are used to playing, right now, playoff basketball. And I don't know who on the Lakers, to sum up my point, can guard Damian Lillard right now. They're going to have LeBron play point forward?
Well, the thing is, I agree with everything you're saying, Tommy. Teams fall into complacency. Yeah, but the one thing you're forgetting about, I think, is LeBron James. He is, out of everyone in the league, he's the guy who can turn it on at will, right? Absolutely. I think my opinion is that he kind of took it easy these last 2 weeks. In those 8 games, he didn't try as hard as he could have.
Tried more on the Madden tournaments, right, than exactly. on the court, but
because he knew those games didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And I think now he's rested up as much as he could be, right? He's going to go into those playoffs. He's going to turn 0-23. Him and Anthony Davis. I think they're gonna slap Portland around. To be honest with you.
Really?
Tony.
I think it's going to be a close. I think it's going to be a hard-fought 6.
I think it's going to be exciting, but I can't see them winning more than one game. I really can't.
And the other surprise has been Carmelo Anthony.
That is true.
Carmelo Anthony couldn't get no one wanted him.
Literally no one.
Literally no one wanted him. He was begging teams to play.
Houston released him after 7 games. Atlanta didn't even want him.
Yeah.
And Portland gave him a chance. And
I think everyone just remembered him in Oklahoma City. And that was not a good Carmelo Anthony. Games. But this Carmelo Anthony's been absolutely sensational. I think he's been a huge part of why the Blazers are who they are. Because Lillard can score you 60. But you still need that other 40, 50 points to win.
Step up, yeah, that's what Carmelo did. He took that lesser role. He was willing to come off the bench, not start, not get as many minutes. And he's been productive. He's been helping his team.
Absolutely. And C.J. McCollum, albeit that back issue, and people were saying he wasn't himself. I remember the game Lillard went off and scored 60. He wasn't that good. But against Memphis, his back looked fine, and he looked fantastic. So they have a great backcourt. And I would say the one weakness of the Lakers is their guards right now. Because you can't have LeBron hold the ball. I guess you could have him hold the ball.
He has been playing point guard, but I don't see. He probably couldn't keep up with Damian Lillard on the defensive end. They would need to switch that out.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's where I said losing Avery Bradley was huge. Because Avery Bradley, while he might not score a ton of points, while he might not light up the stat sheet, defensively, he is so good and so he's a well-respected defender. I feel like Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum I got to bring my A game if I'm going against Avery Bradley tonight.
Yeah, he has that reputation ahead of him. Yeah, for
sure. God bless Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith. They're not Avery Bradley defensively.
No,
I think we can both
even
agree.
Put together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like they're gonna need every ounce of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, because just them two alone could beat any team in the NBA. But I think someone on the Lakers is going to have to step up. And I have to ask you right now, if you think the key Laker to step up besides LeBron and AD, who's the third person you think has to step up if they want to go win a championship?
I'm going to go with J.R. Smith.
Smith?
I think I almost said Dion Waiters, but I think J.R. Smith is the guy who I think is better than Dion Waiters right now. Because J.R. Smith's one of those guys. He could be on fire or he could be ice cold. And if he stays on fire, he stays high, he puts up 3-4 threes a game. Lakers have a good chance to win that game.
No question. And I was thinking Kyle Kuzma.
That is true.
Because if Kyle Kuzma were to be like the rookie Kyle Kuzma, albeit that would take the ball away from AD and LeBron. I mean, they just need a guy who can shoot the three lights out. And Kuzma's rookie year was phenomenal beyond the arc.
He has taken a step down since then, though. Yeah, that's why I said about JR. If he can catch fire, make those threes, make those passes from LeBron, he'll get you open looks. You just got to make them.
Yeah, I remember Game 7 against Golden State, 2016 in Cleveland. J.R. Smith from 3 was sensational.
Lights out.
And that's the difference. A shot here and there, timely shooting is what the Lakers really need. And J.R. Smith definitely can provide that. The series I am most looking forward to, and I think everyone is Clippers and Mavericks.
Clippers, Mavs, yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
I can barely sleep. Kawhi versus Doncic, Paul George versus Porzingis, and I know how sensational Porzingis and Doncic are, but are they like a year too early, or a year or 2 years too early?
Yeah, because you gotta. When it comes down to this, you gotta go by experience, right? Yeah. Kawhi and Paul George, they've been around. Kawhi's been to the finals numerous times. He knows the atmosphere. He knows what it's like. Whereas you got, what's his name, Porzingis, and Porzingis never been. I don't think he's even been to the playoffs.
Well, not in New York.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Luka neither. He's never been to the playoffs.
No.
And it's a different. It's a different mindset. You got to play differently. And I think Paul George and Kawhi are going to be able to bring it to the court every day. I just don't know if Luka will be able to catch up or keep up. Excuse me. The Mavs are in the same boat as the Lakers, in my opinion. They can't just have Porzingis and Doncic go off. Albeit they have great. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a nice player. Like Seth Curry is a nice player. These are good. Jalen Brunson too. He's been having a great year.
Great role players, right? But I haven't seen a game where they all chip in. It's
That's the
either
key.
Seth Curry
Yeah.
goes and drops you 18 or 20 off the bench, or Tim Hardaway Jr. gets you 24. It's never the same time, albeit they're coming off the bench and the shots are limited. But I feel like if they were to get that production from everyone, this is a great series.
Yeah, no, that's
Because
exactly,
the
yeah.
Clippers, well, albeit Kawhi and Paul George been sensational, some of the other guys haven't.
Right.
I just like Lou Will's been pretty good.
Yeah, he missed a couple of games though because of the quarantine thing, and they were
Exactly.
missing what's his name, the big guy, Montrezl.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell.
He'll be back for game 1.
Yes. So
So-
is that rust?
There's gonna be a bit of a curve when they get back into like
Mhm.
the programs, the training, the plays, and all that. But I think by game 2 they'll be right back in it.
Yeah. But the real question is, how is Luka going to do in his first playoff series? I think he's going to do great, just because he's been playing professional ball since he was,
Yeah, he's no stranger.
was
to
in a
big
crib
games.
almost.
Yeah.
Like, he's been groomed for this. And what he's been doing in the bubble has been sensational. And I totally agree. People in the sports media are saying he's the closest thing to Larry Bird. Well, people might think that's
No,
insane.
I agree. Yeah.
He can't shoot it as well as Bird, for sure. But, like, passing,
Passing, rebounding, yeah, he puts up the same sort of numbers.
the one thing is this, he just non-existent on defense.
But that comes, especially
Yeah.
when you're carrying the load on offense for 48 minutes or 40 minutes, however long you play.
Yeah.
That's like James Harden. No, James Harden was atrocious on defense. He's
Yeah.
turned that around a little bit now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Luka. It'll come. He'll get there.
So, but I can't wait for that series. That's just going to be fireworks.
Oh yeah.
And
High scoring games.
absolutely. I think the Clippers will get through, but I'm looking forward to
hard,
see.
yeah.
I can never get enough of Luka Doncic.
I agree.
And
Exciting.
even I know you're not a huge Porzingis guy anymore, but he's 7-footer who can shoot like that.
Yeah. He's a hell of a player. I wish the Knicks kept him, but
I mean, well, you thought you were getting KD and Kyrie, but that's a story for
we
another day.
thought. Yeah, we thought.
Was it
anyways.
Trailer Park Boys? It's neither there nor here. So what we were looking forward to, Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
was Denver and Houston, because we had a lot of stuff riding on that bet.
riding on that. Yeah.
Well, Utah had to spoil our plans and stink up the joint.
Nothing
and
good
go
ever happens
down.
in Utah.
No,
William lives in
no.
Utah. You heard someone say they go to vacation in Utah?
I don't think so.
Never.
Post Malone lives in Utah now.
Well,
Interesting.
name
Lot
one
of land.
name one other
Lot of
person.
A lot of land, a lot of
Lot of
people.
land.
Not a lot of people. But he is living in Utah, and that might be the only thing going for Utah right now, because the Jazz, I don't know what's going on. Like, the Donovan Mitchell scores 50 or 40,
They win by 2.
they win by 2.
I don't. They're you say a lot of contenders and pretenders. They're a pretender.
It's not like they had an awful record in the bubble, but you just look at them. They're not a good basketball
Yeah,
team.
outside of Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, who do they have? What's his name? The guy got from Memphis. who's on the bench now?
Mike Conley. He's been non-existent. I was so
I
excited
haven't heard
for
his
Mike
name
Conley.
once this season.
When they acquired Mike Conley, I was very intrigued, because Mike
too.
Conley in Memphis, I thought he was one of the most underrated players in
For
basketball
sure,
last year.
100%.
And I thought him with Rudy Gobert, Donovan
Mitchell,
Mitchell, and Jay
He
Crowder.
doesn't have to worry about
and-
scoring. Just bring up the ball, facilitating. But
What has he done?
no, absolutely nothing. He's getting 10 minutes a game off the bench. Big whoop.
And Utah messed up our plans.
He did.
So now we won't have Houston, Denver. We're going to have Houston, OKC, and Denver and Utah. So
I think we'll have to-
Houston's been a surprise for me. They've played well,
Yeah.
but I think Michael Porter Jr. for Denver.
He's been
What is
insane.
going on with him? He was one of the most for the people who don't know about Michael Porter Jr., he was ranked as the #1 kid coming out of high school 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He goes to Missouri, gets a back injury, plays like 2 games.
Not
That's
even,
it.
Yeah.
So in the NBA draft, scouts don't have a lot of information about Michael Porter Jr. Is the back's healthy? What on earth's going on? He gets picked up by Denver.
Yeah,
I think in the teens.
Last pick in the lottery.
Yeah. They pick him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was hit or miss. He couldn't play.
He rode the
His
bench. He was
back.
recovering.
First year rode the bench. People, oh, Michael Porter Jr. is a boss. Michael Porter. He hasn't played. You can't say that.
Yeah.
In the bubble, you can see superstardom with this kid. He's 6'10" or 6'9". I forget. I think he's around between 6'8" to 6'10". He's in that range. He can shoot. He can pass. And defensively, I've been amazed. And
no, he's been playing insane. He had, 36 points, 12 rebounds? On like 80% shooting? Something ridiculous like that?
He's been sensational. And we know Jokic is one of the best big men, if not the best big man or facilitating big man.
He's probably the best center in the league.
Yeah. Do you know what we know what Jamal Murray gets you?
Yeah. He'll get you 20 points off easy.
I think he's one of the most underrated players in basketball. Like, as a point guard, he's phenomenal. Michael Porter Jr. is a stud.
Bo's been coming on too. We got guys like Gary Harris. They play well.
Millsap, they got guys everywhere. They go 10
Denver's
deep.
A solid team.
They go 10 deep. They can have 2 starting lineups if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, their practice games will be crazy.
Yeah. So that's the reason I like Denver, because their teamwork was great and just they're so deep. So deep.
They're one of the deeper teams in the playoffs.
But the one problem is experience. I know they made it to the second round last year, but if they were to win the first round, and let's say the favorites all win, they would have to play the Clippers in the second round.
And that's a tall order.
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
Tough sell.
It's hard to see them being the Clippers, even with the deepness they have. They just don't have that, like you said, the experience. They're not polished, you know.
How old is Jokic? Yeah, if we get how old Nikola Jokic
24?
I'm on it.
25?
Can you believe that?
He's insane. He doesn't play like he's 24, 25.
No, he plays like he's a 28, 29-year-old, maybe an early 30-year-old who's still got a lot in the tank. You just look, the decision-making is unbelievable.
25.
He's 25.
He looks like he'd be a 40-year-old like hitman in a video game.
Yeah, he does.
25.
No question. Absolutely.
He's got that blank stare, you know.
Mm-hmm. So you look, Jamal Murray's young, Jokic is young, Bull, and Michael Porter Jr. are babies.
Oh, yeah. Are they even 20 yet?
I think they're barely 20.
Jesus.
So we talk about the future of basketball. If the Pelicans sprout like we think they will, if the Nuggets sprout like we think they will, and we think Porzingis and Doncic are going to...
The future's looking good.
And dare I say, my Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are babies as well.
Very true, yeah. People forget how young those guys are because of how well they play.
I know, and they play older than their age, definitely. And I am looking forward to Denver, watching all those guys in the playoffs, because I feel like they locked up the 3 seed pretty early on. Yeah. So they were just kind of trying stuff out. They're going to be exciting. Yeah, and Utah has got they're going to need Donovan Mitchell to score 70, 80. Yeah.
That's the thing.
He's going to have to go on that Jordan Kobe stuff.
He's going to have to carry them. I don't think he'll be able to, at least to the point of getting the win, you know?
Obviously, Rudy Gobert is one of the best defensive players in basketball, but they're not deep. And I think they got you look at their roster, they got guys, but they haven't shown up.
Yeah, it's like Rudy Gobert, and I think in terms of Jokic's offense and Gobert's defense, they're pretty well matched, but Gobert's not going to be able to play, 48 minutes a game. He can't. Jokic is going to be playing longer than him.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who the backup center is on Utah. Plumlee?
Yeah.
No
not
chance.
good. Wasn't it Favors last year?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But I'm just can't get over. Donovan Mitchell's been great, but the Utah Dash, it looks like they think the bubble's a vacation. They think they're actually at Disney World going on the little rides and stuff. Because it's been Donovan Mitchell or bust almost.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's not going to translate to the playoffs. They're going to get swept if that's going to happen. You need other guys to step up.
Can I get a hot take here? Utah is going to lose in 5 or less.
5 or less.
That's not really a hot take. 4. I'll go. I think it could go 5. I'll go sweep.
You're going to think they're going to sweep?
I think, and my gut tells me it's 5 because I feel like Donovan may get him 1. But for the sake of our viewers, hold me to it. Sweep.
I think the biggest thing this playoffs is going to be just the lack of fans. When that comes down to it used to be home games almost a guaranteed win for some teams, right? Yeah. Now it's a little more balanced, but that's why I don't think that. I think Utah is going to get swept because they won't have that home field advantage to steal a game or whatever, and they're not going to. I can't see them winning more than 4, losing in more than 4.
Yeah, you think it's 4 and they're
I think
4 and go home.
Go
back to Utah. Go to the ranch. Go to the ranch.
I go and stay there.
I hear Utah's gorgeous, like the ranches and stuff out there.
It is. Speaking from experience,
yes.
Utah, Salt Lake City, gorgeous. Would I live there? No.
No,
but,
not
you know,
my cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. It's
can they drink
cold.
tea? Can they drink tea? No, it's caffeine. Not
Can
my
who?
cup of milk.
Can
Is it
who
the
drink?
morning-
Yeah.
Can who No, yeah, you know what? That's up to them to decide, and for me to not care about. But
Well
It's
put.
not their cup
Well
of
put.
milk. It's not their cup of milk, but or glass of
if
milk.
it doesn't
I
have
should say.
caffeine, I think they can drink tea.
Yeah.
They members of the Church of Latter-day Saints is who we're referring to.
Good old
It keeps going down these rabbit holes every time. But Utah, we think they're going. All we're trying to say in a nutshell is, I lost my train of thought for a second, is that if they don't shape up their act, if someone besides Donovan Mitchell shows up, they're heading
supporting
back to
cast
the ranch.
needs to step up.
Yes. And if Denver takes them lightly, even then, I'm just trying to spin it that way. I think one game, if they lose one game, they're going to wake up and they go home.
Even if they take them lightly, they're not. It's not like they're gonna win by 20. They might win by 2. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so
Yeah.
fellas, here's what we'll do now. So we could talk about this all night. We know this, right? What we'll do.
That's our plan. This is the
Okay.
6-hour podcast version.
Special
This
episode.
is the exactly.
We'll be here until 3 a.m.
So what we'll do is I'll go through the current matchups, the playoff bracket, and I'll give you the seedings, and then you guys just let me know who you guys have, you know. And if you don't have the same person,
I
then
like that.
we'll do some debate. You like that? Okay, thank you.
You like that? We need a Kirk Cousins soundbite.
All right. So
But
first off,
Yeah.
we have, I think, some of these things you've already given. Some of these predictions you've already given in your discussions. But first one, we have the 1 seed versus the 8 seed in the Western Conference. Obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland
We like
Trail
the
Blazers.
Lakers, but I said that's going to be a way closer series than Johnny thinks.
I'm saying Lakers in 5. I'm being generous.
I'll go Lakers in 6. Could go 7, but I'll
You
go
think?
6.
I'm being generous with Game 5 right there.
They're not going to sweep them. Portland's going to get 1.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I feel like they're just going to the first game's going to catch Lakers off guard of just how into it Portland's going to be.
I don't know.
I'll go 6. I feel like 6
6,
is
yeah.
the number.
I just can't see. I can't see LeBron taking them like not seriously. You know, even though they are 1 versus 8, everyone's seen how Portland's been playing recently. Everyone
Yeah.
knows how Damian Lillard's been playing. You know,
Yeah. I guess you're right.
we'll have to wait and see.
You know, Johnny. No, I can't. I'll go.
I
6.
was gonna say, wow.
Oh,
is,
yeah, wow.
is
But
Tommy giving in? Is Tommy
No
agreeing?
chance.
we
No
both
chance.
picked the Lakers, but just like a difference of a
Nice.
game. I think Lakers lose game 1, and I say they lose game. The game before, I think if I were to guess, Lakers lose game 1 because they're not used to it. They went 3 in a row, and then the Blazers get 1 like to stay alive, and then they're done.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll hold you to it.
If I'm right on that, then I don't know what happened. I don't know.
That'd
We'll
be
change the name of the
ridiculous.
show.
Then you have a job somewhere else.
Honestly.
We'll
So-
just become the Tommy show.
And I would never accept it.
You know what? If it's for money,
Yeah, maybe.
I hope you
we're
would.
playing for shekels right now.
Yeah.
All right. Next we have the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I never thought I would pick Houston, but I am.
Yeah, I think it's.
I that could really bite me in the butt because Harden and Westbrook playoffs aren't their thing. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, if you go by history, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Houston 2, but I'm gonna go Houston in 7, because Westbrook might miss first 2 or 3 games, right?
Mhm.
And then OKC this is pretty well. Chris Paul's been coming up.
Yeah.
Shai Gilgeous has been playing pretty crazy too. I'm gonna say Houston in 7. I think it's gonna go the distance.
See, I'm agreeing. I said it was going to go the distance. I would normally take Oklahoma City, but I've been impressed of what. See, that's a tough one.
I just think
I'm
I
a
just think-
pick 'em. I'm
yeah?
like a minus 115 each way.
Interesting. Okay, so you got it close. So
Very
it's
close.
almost a pick 'em then at that point.
Do you want Houston? I'd take OKC. Just
If you
because.
want, I think Houston's gonna win in 7.
Okay, I have OKC in 7.
All right, sounds good.
Oh,
But
wow.
we won't put
That'll
anything
come
on
down
it.
to a game.
competitiveness.
No, we just want to. We're gonna change like
For
difference
bragging
of
rights.
opinion.
For
Yeah,
bragging
bracket
rights.
rights.
Yeah.
Bracket reasons.
Interesting. All right. So the next one we have the.
But wait, before you
Sorry,
say that, I
sorry.
don't want to be like, oh, I told you so if they lose in 7, but because I'm like really close.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
either
I know
way.
you're only switching because I'm choosing Houston.
Yeah,
don't worry
yeah,
about that.
exactly.
I won't make fun of you too much.
Okay.
Next we have the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz.
Well, I think our stance on Utah was already pretty.
I think we made ourselves clear.
Yeah.
Tommy
yeah.
hates Utah.
I love Utah. I would love
Yeah,
to
to
own.
all-
I would love to own property in
To
Utah.
all our Utah viewers, we don't hate you.
Yes, we love you.
That
No
much.
one loves Utah more than me and Johnny. We love Utah, but we don't love the way your basketball team's playing right now. albeit the record is not horrible. Just no one else is playing. I haven't seen anyone besides Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert do anything.
Sometimes Rudy Gobert.
I have to check for a pulse sometimes from the guys on the bench because they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know if the game is paused or if it's just the bench team on. I can't tell.
I couldn't tell you, Johnny. And I couldn't care, really, because I think Denver's going to smoke them. And if I'm totally wrong, so be it. Maybe they're just messing with us.
Watch Denver get swept. And us
Watch Denver get swept.
We would be very...
And they were going to replay the line of me. I'll be shocked if this goes 5. For Denver, no. But Denver's too deep.
I think we agree Denver in 4, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver in 4.
We need a sweep. We need a little broom emoji going on the bottom. It's just...
We can make it work. We can work.
Yeah. We'll find something. We're going to put the broom emoji by Utah, Denver.
All right, and then finally, to finish up the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks.
You want to take this one, Tommy, first?
Oh, you take it, Johnny. I want to hear your thought through this before.
Well, we did talk about this before, right? About they're young, and Clippers have the experience. Mavericks don't. I can't bet against the Clippers. Number 2 seed, second best team in the league, in my opinion. I'll say Clippers in 5. I'll give them a game.
Clippers in 5?
Yeah.
I agree.
Agree with me,
You said everything. I think we talked about this earlier. Maybe that's
yeah.
why I can't go on. Wow, how great. We know how fantastic Luka Doncic is. We know how fantastic Porzingis is. But Clippers, Kawhi, Paul George, and off the bench, there's Harrell, there's Lou Williams, and there's Marcus Morris. And then Doc Rivers is a great coach. I mean, I just feel like there's too many things going against Dallas at the minute. I think they can get a game.
Yeah, that's why I don't
Maybe
think they're gonna
2,
sweep.
maybe 2,
I was
but I'll
torn
go
between
5.
5 and 6. Yeah, but
I'll go 5.
yeah, me too.
We're being more 5.
Yeah, Clippers.
And if
5.
it's 6, so be it.
Yeah, I was. It's like 50, maybe like 60-40 for game 5 or game 6. Yeah,
it's close. So, and as much as we love the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference, Gav,
just as good.
Maybe not, but just as entertaining in my eyes, because this hits home for us. The
Eastern Conference. A little closer, it's colder.
Got my Boston Celtics merch. Number 18 coming our way.
We'll see about that.
I didn't say this year. I meant eventually. 18's coming. I didn't say this year. I didn't say right now.
It's bound to happen soon.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the next 1,000 years, we'll have a championship. Yeah. Mark my words.
Next 2. In the next 100
interesting.
Or so.
Next 1,000. You want to put that on the board? Next 1,000 years, the Boston Celtics will.
I don't think you guys could hold me up to that.
All right, great.
Wait till 3021.
Yeah, I know.
Wait till 3021. When you're wrong, we're gonna bring it back.
Honestly.
All right, so we'll look
at the ghost of us in this very lot will come. Yeah.
3021.
Yeah.
John, is that in 100 years?
No.
3021.
I'm an idiot. I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
Happens the best.
You know, it's because there's that tweet.
2001.
There was that tweet that came out, and it was like, I can't believe this. Our kids are gonna be 80 in the year 3000, and they're like, what? Like, if we have kids now in 2020, they'll be 80 in the year 3000. And then I was like, okay, that's
not how math works.
That's not how math works
that's
at
Facebook
all.
Humor, yeah.
No.
That's.
I'd like to tender my resignation for the show.
We
for getting
accept.
that wrong. No, okay. So first one, Milwaukee versus Orlando. Who do you have?
Milwaukee.
Tough decision. Milwaukee in 4.
4. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't even see Orlando. I completely forgot about Orlando, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I forgot they were in the bubble.
Well,
but they're in there. It's their home bubble.
They're the home team.
No wonder. Exactly. Yeah, I think they just gave them a pass. You know what? We'll put you in the playoffs.
You can't have the
you're
bubble.
hosting.
Yeah, you can't have the bubble in Orlando without Orlando.
Who do we play? Milwaukee.
Good luck.
You get Giannis in the first round. Yeah, I go 4.
Yeah,
I think that's a 4. Get the sweep emoji going again.
Yeah, bring it back up.
Yeah. It's just I don't have time for Orlando.
Yeah, just next match.
All right, next up, which might not be a sweep, Indiana versus Miami.
I like this a lot.
This is an amazing series.
This is hard defensive.
What did I say 2 months ago? I said this will be the best series in the playoffs. First round.
Yeah, you
look at TJ Warren.
He's been playing insane. And look at him in the rivalry with Jimmy too.
Yep.
They both got something personal in this game.
Who do you got?
It's tough, man. It's really tough. I gotta go Indiana. I think Indiana is more whole than Miami. That's just what I think.
I was gonna pick Indiana too.
I love Miami. I love Jimmy Buckets, but I gotta go.
I
Indiana.
don't know. This for me, it's either gonna be so close,
That's the thing.
or it's gonna be an annihilation one way.
I think it's gonna go to 7.
I think so too.
Oh yeah, at least 6 for sure. 7.
You know what? I think Indiana is incredibly deep.
Me too. They have more
But
players.
Miami's deep too.
I know, but
You
Miami,
want to hear her? So you pick Indiana? Like you're 100% on Indiana
Yeah.
because I'm 50.
I'm like maybe 80%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want me to pick Miami?
I won't tell you what to pick, Tommy, but
My gut says Indiana,
Yeah.
but I'm picking Miami just because you picked.
just for the sake of competition.
On the 50-50 ones, we'll take one or the other.
Fair
I
enough.
take
Fair
Gav. I took Miami, but my gut tells me Indiana.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
Jimmy Butler could easily go off.
That's why I think.
Bam.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I mean,
outside of
Tyler.
Jimmy and Bam,
With Tyler, what's his face? Hero.
Tyler Hero.
It's
whatever it is.
Hero.
Let's think. Outside of Jimmy and Bam, who can you really count on?
That's my other
you
thing.
know? It was
Screw it,
Indiana. There you go. I just think Indiana's more like the
They're-
players are more dependable.
Just think about this.
They're
Think
more
about this.
well-rounded.
Victor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got T.J. Warren, right? People forget Malcolm Brogdon's on Indiana.
He's fire. I love Malcolm Brogdon. He's underrated.
Defensively, he is sensational.
He is, and he plays decent offense, man. He's
Yes,
a
he's a
solid
good
guard.
shooter.
Yeah, and then you add
Great from the line.
then Miles Turner too.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. But
Yeah, I just thought of it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I thought about it. I'm going Indiana. Gav, we're going.
Indiana, okay.
Shout out to
That-
Larry Bird.
that's my favorite first
Shout out
round
to
matchup.
Larry Bird and the great state of Indiana.
Speaking of Larry Bird, next up, Boston or Philadelphia?
Celtics in 4. No, I'm
Celtic.
joking. I'm joking. That was pure bias.
I would love to say Philly. I think Philly's underperformed these past years. I think the roster on paper is way better than they actually play.
But
Boston's the better team.
yeah, thank you.
Boston, they're more consistently better. Yeah, that makes sense. Than Philly.
I'll go Boston in 7. The reason I say 7 is just because Philly has so much talent that a few games they might just pop. But Ben's not there, right?
Oh, is he out?
I don't
I
know.
was- I
I
wasn't
thought he was
sure.
getting surgery.
Oh, you're right. Huh? He's out.
Yeah,
He's
if we
not
look
playing.
out and see if Ben Simmons is playing. I don't
I
think
think
so.
I think I remember hearing about that.
And that's the case. It's like 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6.
And I was a huge Al Horford guy in Boston. In Philly, he's been atrocious. And you gave him $120 million. So off our books onto yours, and you're going to lose to us anyway.
Ben
No.
Simmons is out
There you go.
for the foreseeable future. So
There's no timetable.
I'm here. I'm gonna look for a timetable. But
I don't wish injury on anyone, but I'm a bit relieved that Ben Simmons will not be playing against
Speaking
my
as a Boston fan.
As a Boston
As a
fan.
Boston.
I love gotta learn how to shoot. God bless him. Gotta learn how to shoot.
Hey,
But-
he's been taking it more now. He's been getting over that confidence curve.
yeah, but he's got to make him. He's got to make
That's
him.
true. Very
The
true.
difference is shooting and making. You know.
I
and-
think Philly is better defensively, but I don't think their offense can keep up with Boston.
I think Boston's very underrated on defense.
They are, but I don't know. When you look at Joel, Jay Rich, Tobias,
Yeah.
even Al Horford's solid on defense.
Yeah.
I
so
think
all,
they're-
all we see now is Ben Simmons is out for the entirety of the series. That's for sure. He's not going to be playing against the Celtics, but that could either be the rest of the season, or if they make it, they'll have to. If they
I
beat
like
the
it. So
Celtics,
if they win, they might get him
if
back.
they win,
I
he might
like
play.
it
If
a
they
lot.
don't, then obviously not. But
Well, I'm gonna say
I like it a lot.
but I mean,
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing, a lot of these outlets are saying, it sucks that it's definitely going to hurt not having Simmons, but a lot of people think Philly might be able to do it.
They're haters. They're from New York.
That's
You know.
Oh, that's from the New York Post. Sorry.
Yeah, the New York Post. KnicksFans.com.
Yeah, that was from
Johnny Mishaw's
everyone
Twitter.
but Boston.
Boston Celtics sucks.ca.
Yeah, exactly. I have Celtics in 6.
I
No, I'll
agree.
go 7.
I'm gonna say 6.
6.
I think 'cause if they don't have Ben Simmons, I think 6. I might even say 5. But
Boston, you're my home. Bum, bum.
where were you born again? Boston.
No.
Oh, okay.
He was born again.
Born Lakeshore General Hospital. What's up next, Gav? Well, enough crapping on my Celtics.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Toronto versus Brooklyn. So the hometown
Toronto. And the fact that you were thinking Brooklyn had a shot earlier on was very, very.
I'm still taking Brooklyn.
What? You think they're going to win?
I don't think they're gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a competitive
You gotta-
series.
we get it. You're from New York. We get
Oh,
it.
no, yeah. But
I
think you would
hate
he hates
the Nets. I hate the Nets more than the next guy. But I think they're a
I have a
decent
question.
team.
Nets? Who do you hate more, Nets or Celtics?
Nets. just that crosstown rivalry, you know.
Damn.
That's true. I mean, it's so funny how like New York fans like they hate the Mets. You know, they love the Yankees, but we hate the Mets. It's like
I think they
You're
hate
in
the
the
Red
same
Sox
town.
more than the Mets.
well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I know that
Reds-
for sure.
yeah.
But like
Red Sox.
they're
more
not going to a
Mets.
Mets game. Like a guy, you put a Mets hat on Jay-Z and he'll kill you. You know, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I
But if
wouldn't
you put a
step
Yankees
foot in-
hat on Seinfeld, he'll pass out. You know, it's
Jerry
different stuff.
Seinfeld.
He's
Yeah.
a Mets fan.
What's going on?
Yeah. Go Mets.
All right, so that's
Do you ever
That's it.
see the episode of Seinfeld when Elaine wears an Orioles hat to the baseball game? Funny episode if you people haven't checked
Yeah.
it out. Seinfeld.
all right. Recommended.
Recommend Seinfeld to everyone. I think Raptors annihilate them.
Raptors. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Raptors in 6.
I'll go 4.
I think you're gonna sweep them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Sure.
know. I think Brooklyn's been playing really well lately. But
Toronto's I just been so impressed.
I agree, but I can't.
They
see,
lost one game in the bubble.
I know, but I just can't see Toronto replicating their.
Well, they
playoff success.
smoked the Lakers without any of those
Yeah,
guys.
but
Defensive
Lakers
Nick
is-
Nurse, in my opinion, is like a top 3 coach in the NBA, and then they're just so incredibly deep. I don't know. And if KD and Kyrie were there, I think Brooklyn in like 6. But
Wait, see, outside of Siakam and Lowry, who do they really have? Like they can
Fred's
step
been
up.
fantastic.
Nick
Yeah,
Nurse.
yeah. Fred's been good, but he's not going to drop
They don't need. This is
30
like.
points consistently.
Yo,
And
playoff
I think,
Fred.
Remind me.
I think
Playoff Fred
Karis
is
LeVert-
pretty clutch. Playoff Fred is pretty.
well,
we
he
saw
was
that
last year with Kawhi. With
He
Kawhi
got an
Leonard.
MVP
With
vote.
Kawhi.
He got a Finals
you take out
MVP
Kawhi
vote.
Leonard, then what? I
So
don't know. I
what?
feel like
So
Karis
what?
LeVert.
You take
I
out
think he's
Kawhi.
going to lock down.
So
Kawhi.
what?
Kyle
You
Yeah,
Lowry.
take out Kawhi, and we're still the number 2 seed in the play. Well, I say we're because I'm a Toronto fan,
Yeah,
but
you're on the
I mean
roster.
they're still the number. Hey, I'm not saying we're gonna win everything, you know,
Uh-huh.
but
I like.
I mean we're number 2 for a reason.
I think they're going to win the
Here's-
series. I just don't think it's going to be an annihilation.
I mean, we'll
Stop.
see.
What I said is, this reminds me of the 04 Pistons team that stunned Shaq and Kobe, and Karl Malone, and everyone was on that team. I think it's like they loaded up. They got like all the old guys together.
Yeah,
And
the
Shaq
out of their
Kobe.
prime old guys. Yeah.
But they were huge favorites, and then the Chauncey Billups Pistons upset the apple cart. You know, wherever this. Yeah.
Wait, yeah, whatever that
Someone
is.
with the apple cart, you know, and I see this as the Toronto Raptors. They're just so deep, and defensively, they are phenomenal.
I agree. They are insane on defense. Probably best team in the league.
Best team by
And
far.
They
on
are very
defense.
deep, but they're not. I just can't.
They don't have the alpha,
Exactly. I think they're missing.
but
that
that's where
one
the
star
Pistons
player.
didn't have the alpha.
That's true.
Like
but
Chauncey
the
was the
Pistons
best,
weren't the
and
2
Chauncey
seed either,
wasn't
you
the.
know?
What's that?
I said the Pistons weren't the 2 seed. They were low.
Yeah, but
I
they just
remember.
locked up.
I can't like
Yeah.
they'll for sure win. I think they're for sure gonna win against Brooklyn. I think it's gonna Game 6, but I don't see them making it out of the second round. But we'll get to that the next matchup.
Well, they'll be playing Boston, so I hope they don't get out of the second round. But we both have Raptors. I have them 4. Johnny has in 6.
Yep.
And then
So-
are we just gonna preview the first round?
I think. I mean, if you guys want to go through it, it's up to you guys. But I thought we'd do
We
one
already did
round,
the
maybe
prediction.
one round at a time.
Yeah, yeah, we'll go each round at a time.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
that's what
We'll
we
see.
think right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, that's what we think right now. And then after what? I mean, the finals are set to start September 30th. So in about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks.
We'll
first
have
round
a
will be
better
complete.
idea. We'll have a better idea. Excuse me for the yawn, but we'll have a better idea.
Are we keeping you up, Tommy?
No, I
Got
just
something better to do.
a lot of research, a lot of basketball watching. A
Well,
lot
like
of
for those of you
hockey.
watching this later, it's actually 3 in the morning right now.
Yeah, it is.
We've been up
The
setting
sun is up right now. So
So
I
think it's
can't
time-
wait for the
yeah.
first round.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And we'll see how right we were on those predictions. And then when the second round starts, we'll do second round and then
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But believe it or not, the NBA is not the only playoffs that are happening right now, Johnny.
Really?
The National Hockey League is having their own playoffs happening in Toronto and Edmonton. And speaking of the 2 host cities, both 2 host cities get bounced right away. So, my question for both of you. What are the Leafs going to do? Because you look at the top half of that lineup, and it's superstardom all over it. Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander. I mean, Kapanen, it just goes on and on. Do they just got to blow this thing up? Because clearly, if they can't win with this, they ain't going to win with anything.
Like you said, you made a point on in the NBA. I forget which team you're talking about. But
And can I say a thing?
Yeah, go for
In
it.
our hockey bracket, I said Columbus would upset Toronto. I said it. I knew it. I just know who Toronto are. And then the playoffs,
They did,
I just know who they are. So what were you going to say, Gav, about...
I was gonna say, like,
I just want to say I was right.
on paper, some teams can be statistically unreal, and
Yeah.
we see that with Toronto Maple Leafs. But when they can't put it together on the ice, then you got some issues. I think the issue in Toronto is, you got Marner, you got Nylander, you got Matthews,
And Tavares.
and Tavares, excuse me.
And Tavares.
Individually, 3 outstanding hockey players. Tavares could be a future Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of
He is a
Famer.
future Hall of Famer.
He is.
Matthews, the rest are still young, but if they continue to do what they do, yeah, sure. But individually, they're great. As a unit, as a team, when it matters most, they just can't get it done. And that's, unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you get blessed, and you have guys like Malkin and Crosby who can tear it up for more than a decade. And then sometimes you get guys like Matthews and Marner who just can't seem to can get it to click during the regular season, but just can't seem to get it to click in the playoffs. Is it because everyone wants to be a hero and everyone wants to be a hero in a hockey town like Toronto? I mean, who wouldn't want to be, Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to be walking through
Yeah,
the
the
streets
pressure's
and getting recognized?
astronomical.
But the pressure is astronomical, and pressure makes diamonds, but it also makes squished things. And it looks like Toronto is a
That's
squished
nice.
thing for now, unfortunately.
Well, if you you think Montreal, there's a ton of pressure. Toronto is just as much for the Maple Leafs. I don't know if it's more. I don't know.
I mean,
I can't
Toronto is a
speak.
bigger city. Is it a bigger hockey city? No, because
I don't know.
Some
I
of the
would say
hockey gets
Montreal's
drowned out
bigger,
by
yeah.
the MLB and the NBA.
But I have
That's true.
Montreal
I
is
say
just
Toronto.
hockey.
Yeah.
There's
Toronto.
there's no one comparing the Habs to the Alouettes. I'm sorry, or the Les Aigles de Trois-Rivières in the
I don't
in the
know.
Can-Am League.
I
No
don't know.
one's really talking
Yeah,
about that.
no,
It's
John.
hockey. And
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I feel like the Leafs fan. I feel like Toronto in general would rather have one Leafs Stanley Cup than 10 Raptors championships than 10 World Series. I'll bet my life on that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I'll bet my life on
If
that.
the Raptors winning was
Huge.
if the Leafs would have won, it
The
would have
CN
been
Tower
a
would
much
have
better, bigger
collapsed
thing.
from
Yeah.
people riding. Like, it would have been insane. And that's a lot of pressure. And the reason, like, Montreal, there's a ton of pressure, but we don't have the stardom up front. Working out now, they're playing great. But if Montreal and these big markets, I think Vancouver would be the same way, Edmonton, Calgary, these big markets that have these crazy talented guys and they don't produce, the pressure's just insane.
Yeah, you see that in a lot of sports. Guys come from big teams, big market teams, and they just don't live up to the height, and they get brutalized by fans.
Do you think it's like warranted?
I think so, like to a point. Like when you get drafted by a team like Toronto or Montreal, that you gotta play well, because if you don't, you're gonna be up your ass because
Yeah.
And it's not like
you're up your behind. Excuse me.
even when they don't
It's all good.
have,
We can say ass.
yeah, we're on serious. Like no,
Yeah.
even when you don't have, like in Toronto, even when you don't have the big names, like 10 years ago when they didn't have these guys, when they had like Van Riemsdyk and Reimer and Nets and
Kessel. Well, no, Kessel's a
and
big
Kessel
name.
was good, but like nowhere near where we are now in terms of
Joffrey
stardom.
Lupul.
Joffrey Lupul, yeah, there was still a lot of pressure on them. Still a lot of pressure, just
Yeah.
because Toronto takes hockey so seriously. And now, when you look at this roster, this should not be happening, and that's why it's so frustrating.
no.
Because Toronto's like, finally, we got a good team.
They get bounced in the first round.
They get bounced in the first round, and same thing happened the year before,
Yeah.
and the year before, and the year
Well, as a Bruins fan, we have done our fair share of making people in Toronto very,
Yes,
very
very
sad.
upset.
It feels like every year Toronto just draws Boston in the first round and losing 7 every time. We bring it to 7 to get their hopes up, and in Game 7 they just collapse.
But the case with Toronto is it's mind-boggling in a way, because like most times you can say like, okay, well, it's coaching, fire the coach.
Yeah.
It's the GM, fire the GM. It's the
Well, they've done all those
It's
things.
our power
yeah.
play. They've done
not
everything.
that.
They fired the coach. They have a 32-year-old GM. There's literally no one else they could get. Like
No.
like the kid's like the next one in line's a 14-year-old.
Well, they just
Yeah, it
saw,
gets-
like, well, the Marlies won the AHL, so we're going to hire the head coach of the
Yeah.
Marlies, the GM of the Marlies.
They're doing everything that they should be doing. They
Yeah.
have unreal roster. They've brand new coaching staffs, whatever, but they're just not producing.
It gets to the point where you almost gotta like let go of some of these guys just to maintain chemistry.
I was just gonna say that.
I think now they got to focus on chemistry.
You got to. Marner did not have a great postseason, but I feel like you can't let Marner go. I feel like he's too valuable. In my opinion, Matthews is the goal scorer and the superstar, but Marner does the little things that Matthews doesn't. He goes into the corner. He blocks shots. He kills. He's a phenomenal penalty killer. And for the last 2 years before this year, he had the most points on the Leafs. So I think you got to keep Marner. By contract, they can't get rid of Tavares. There's a no trade, nothing clause. And then you got to keep Matthews. But besides that, I think everyone else.
Okay, so
it's open season.
If you're Kyle Dubas right now,
Nylander's got to go. I can get a good. They need help on defense now because it's just Morgan Riley and Muzzin, and they both play left shot. Nothing on the right hand side. Nylander can get, because the talent's there. They can get some shit. Part of my language for Nylander. They can get a good haul.
Yeah, for sure. Why, like, if he's not playing well with your superstars, your Tavares, your Markin, whatever.
Yeah.
Why not dump him for someone who will? Someone who might not be as good, but will fit better on the team.
Yes, exactly.
You gotta focus on chemistry. Like, when you're in the NHL, you could have the greatest players of all time, but if they can't play well together, you may as well have like a bunch of schlubs playing.
We look at Montreal. Exactly. Like, name the superstar up front for Montreal. There is none.
You can't.
But they've been playing well as a
Carey
team.
Price.
Well, Carey Price
is the superstar. And he's the goalie. It's he's also the
Price has been nothing short of spectacular. But the Canadians, like, I've been pleasantly surprised. Like, we all thought Pittsburgh was going to mop the floor with them.
Yep.
And they get through Pittsburgh. And they're playing Philly incredibly tough. So, I don't know. It's
tough.
I feel like the loss of Kadri was a big one when they traded him for what's his name? The defenseman there, Tyson Barrie. They thought they were going to get a lot out of Tyson Barrie. Didn't really work out. Now he's a UFA. I feel like they just got to. There's guys expendable. And they gave Marner, Matthews, Tavara, Nylander. They gave them all massive deals. Now they can't sign any free agents because of the cap. So they got to find a way to get out under.
They got to get rid of Nylander.
They got to get rid of Nylander. I think they got to get rid of Kapanen. They got to get rid of Janssen. They got to get rid of these guys to open up some cap space and also get some help on the back end. Because if you can't, Matthews can score 50 in his sleep. Tavares can score 40. Marner can get you. He's scored 90 points twice in his career. So up front, you're fine. It's just on the back end they can't. It's just defensively they're terrible. And
it's gonna be a busy offseason.
You would like to. I hope so.
Yeah. And know what the saying is? It doesn't matter if you score 10 if they score 11.
Very true.
Doesn't matter, right?
Very true. Yeah.
So what do you think, John? Does they just keep?
Yeah, I think they got to dump some guys and just to make their team whole.
Well, this kind of revolves around you a bit because Johnny's diehard New York Rangers fan. Didn't go well in the playoffs, but you get the number 1 overall pick, and Lafreniere has been the most hyped guy, probably since McDavid, like hype wise.
I would say so.
Yeah, and you got. The ball falls in your direction. What would you already got Panarin, who's a top 10 player in the league. Capo Caco's been great he's rookie, but signs of greatness. Zibanejad's great. What do you do? Because there's teams calling about the number 1 pick and can give you a lot. If you're the GM of the Rangers right now, are you fielding those offers? Are you actually considering getting a giant haul for number 1? Because Lafreniere could be a superstar.
He could be, but he could also be a bust.
That's very true.
Very true.
There's a little bit of, guesswork. Not guesswork, but like.
Yeah.
Well, you're always taking a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Drafting a number 1 guy who's hypes like this is.
Well, sometimes you just have the McDavid where you just know.
Yeah, well, you just know. But sometimes when it's like a guy who's, when you just know. But sometimes when you don't just know, you're taking a risk. Because obviously, you get the number 1 pick, you kind of have to take him, right? You kind of have
not taking anyone else.
Even if he doesn't fit in your system,
you don't
or
pass
you
up on
don't
that.
necessarily
Yeah, exactly.
you can't pass up on that because you don't want to be the team that passed up on the greatest player of all time if he were to become the greatest player of all time. But I mean, also, if you take him, then trade him for something that will help you now and in the next 10 years. That's a good thing as well. So.
Well, you look at the Ottawa Senators in the mid '90s. The Quebec Alexandre Daigle was the most hyped guy in a long time in the '90s, and he's a French Quebecer. The Nordiques wanted him. The Nordiques offered the Senators Joe Sakic, one of the great players of all time, and already proven himself at that time. And they offered him for the number 1 pick. Ottawa said no. Daigle's a bust. Joe Sakic, first ballot Hall of Famer, top 20 all time.
That's the thing. It's almost like you got to trade it for like a surefire good player who you know is already good.
Yeah.
Versus drafting a guy that you're like not 100% uncertain, but 80-20 could be good. He could be a bust.
Yeah.
I feel like you almost got to dump that pick for more, for like you said, a bigger haul, for more assets.
Because Ottawa is looking to offer 3 and 5. So you get 2 top 5 prospects.
Yeah, exactly. 2 top 5 prospects could be worth more than one number 1. You know?
And what if,
we're finding that out in Toronto.
And what if he busts and the 5 and the 3 both go on to have Hall of Fame careers?
You don't know. Like
you
we
don't
said,
know
speculating.
It's a gamble.
Of the day.
MJ was taken third.
The draft
MJ was taken first.
The draft is a gamble. It's a gamble.
If you look at the draft, I don't think Houston regrets taking Hakeem. They won 2 chips.
Yeah, but would you rather have Hakeem or Michael Jordan?
Well, I don't know, but I don't think it's not an awful.
You don't
pick.
regret
They
in the
picked
long
Hakeem.
term. You don't regret. You don't
Sam,
regret in the
was
short
it Sam
term.
Bowie
In
went
the short
too?
term, you don't regret.
Sam Bowie was second over.
Yeah, went 2. Now Portland regrets that. Oh, we have Clyde Drexler. We don't need Michael Jordan. Well, that's why you're the Portland. That's why you're only relevant now. Well, they have 1 chip. I won't do them dirty, but
You just did, Tommy.
I did them dirty. But they have 1 championship. Good for
Yeah.
them. The Bulls got 6 in 8 years.
That's the thing. Like even if you could have an Hakeem, would you not rather have an MJ?
I'd rather have MJ than Hakeem,
Yeah.
but that's just. But out of college, people were thinking Hakeem's better because you're seeing this 7-foot animal.
Yeah, Michael Jordan changed the game, but we're getting back on basketball.
Yeah, we're getting back on
Let's stick
basketball.
at NHL.
But like you said, Gav, looking back, could the 3 and the 5 be worth more than the 1?
Yeah, if the 3 and the 5, even if they don't go on to be the best players of all time, even if they both have productive careers for your organization, that in a way could be more profitable than one superstar,
Yeah,
so
no, I agree,
looking back at like the McDavid draft, let's say Edmonton, every team wanted the McDavid thing, they would have probably gotten more than a 3rd and the 5th overall pick
they
for
would have
McDavid.
the 5th and like a second line centerman, or maybe even a first.
I think more.
You think so?
I think going to the McDavid draft, Crosby would have been expendable for McDavid. Yes.
Crosby,
McDavid was-
Sidney Crosby? I don't know.
McDavid was seen as a surefire.
He was. People were saying,
future superstar.
and Wayne Gretzky said he's the best player I've seen since me.
Would you trade a shirt, like a winning lottery ticket? You know it's a winning lottery ticket. Would you trade a winning lottery ticket for $1 million for an unknown winning lottery ticket? You don't know if it wins or not for $20 million.
I would say it's more like, would you take like $1 million winner or like $50,000? Like it's one that you could win $1 million.
You could win $1 million or $50,000.
Or you get $50,000
Yeah.
for sure. It's almost like
you want to take the $50,000, but
Yeah.
you never know.
Exactly.
Well, regret could kick in if Lafreniere turns into exactly. If Lafreniere turns out to be who everyone thinks he's going to be,
then you're a winner. But
you're
if
a
he's
winner.
not, then you're an
But
idiot.
yeah, but let's say let's say you're Edmonton in the McDavid year, and a team offers you 3 and 5. Let's say you do it. You get who went. Dylan Strome went 3rd, but let's say they don't take Dylan Strome. Marner went 5, and let's say Barzal was at draft. Do you think? I think Edmonton that's not a bad trade, even though McDavid's by far the best player in the league, like by far. Let's say they already drafted Draisaitl the year before. That's a pretty good team. If you have Marner, Barzal, Draisaitl, and those guys, obviously they're nowhere near Connor McDavid, but it's a good haul. And the Rangers are in that position. I'm not saying Lafreniere's McDavid, but that's the offer put on the table.
Right, because it's almost like you need, getting 2 players that will help your team, 2 players that fit your team, versus one guy who could be, like you said, the future Connor McDavid, best in the league. I feel like you got to go with those 2 players that you like. Even they not be as good, but they fit your team better.
This is a good example of that. All right, 2012 NHL entry draft. You're Edmonton, right? Everyone knows Nail Yakupov. This kid's gonna be amazing. This kid's gonna be amazing. This kid's gonna tear up the league. Edmonton can either take him or they can get 3 and 5. You know, who was 3 and 5 that year? Alex Galchenyuk and Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley's phenomenal.
Alex Galchenyuk had a few good years earlier on, but now we know where he is. Phoenix.
But he's in I forget where he is.
Pittsburgh. I didn't think he
went to
around.
Pittsburgh. Is he Mini? He might be Minnesota. I forget where the hell.
Exactly.
He is.
Exactly.
But he had a better NHL career than Nail Yakupov,
He did,
though.
and that goes.
But
That says something. That says
not,
yeah.
So I don't know. It's just the whole thing's insane. That a team would. I get Ottawa because I feel like Ottawa is a player away. Because Brady Tkachuk's great. Duclair's been great.
He is their player away. That's a good
point. Shabbat on the defense has been great. Lafreniere might be the number one guy they're missing. Understand it completely.
Yeah. And you could probably squeeze a little bit more out of him too. You know.
You could.
And even if you don't have to necessarily look to Ottawa.
Yeah.
There's other teams out there.
You can use other
I don't know who
teams
has
as
the
leverage.
number 2, but
LA's interested as well.
Yeah.
But think about it. The Rangers have their number one already. Panarin's not that old. And he's already a top 10 player in the league.
Exactly. Like, do you really need Lafreniere when you have Panarin and you could maybe add 2 guys that would help Panarin better? You know what I'm saying? Like, will complement him better than Lafreniere would?
Yeah.
It's tough.
I don't know.
They're probably going to keep the first and play it safe.
Yeah.
But, who knows?
But if you're the GM, you rolling the dice?
I'm rolling it.
I think you have to.
Yeah. I'm a gambling man.
Lafreniere.
And I think the security of Panarin, Zibanejad, and you had Capo Caco went second last year.
Yeah.
Good year for the Rangers. They went second pick then first pick.
Yeah.
So
whatever they're doing for maybe their voodoo or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like Pittsburgh, right? They had the second.
Yeah.
Ovechkin went 1, and then they took Malkin 2. The next year they had the first pick.
Yeah.
You get Crosby. I'm not saying Capo Caco Lafreniere is Malkin,
but it could
Crosby.
It could be.
But they already have the security net of having a superstar in Panarin, so they have the liberty.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They
Yeah,
have
you're right. You're right. It's not
that wiggle room.
It's not like they can go either way with it, and their fan base isn't gonna. They're gonna understand either way,
Worst comes
it's not
to
like
worst, they go to the Islanders.
Exactly. Worst case, yeah. It's not like
mooch off the crosstown rival, right?
It's not like it's like they have no choice. They have some room to think it over, but I think they're gonna be going to Lafreniere. I think so.
Yeah,
I just think he's that good.
Yeah, I saw him in the World Juniors, and I was blown away how great he was.
Yeah.
But if you can surround Panarin, I don't know. It's just a thought. Lafreniere's going to play in the league next year, but you don't know if the 3rd or the 5th pick's going to play. They might play, in the AHL, or they might play. They might have a year left in junior.
But first pick, you kind of have.
They're playing.
This kid could have the worst training camp of all time. He doesn't even have to show up.
Second line.
He doesn't even have to show up.
Hey,
the team has to play him first line at least. Otherwise, at least the second. Otherwise, it's a waste. It's a waste. Yeah, it's the same all across sports. If they draft the number 1 quarterback, if Alex Burrows doesn't start, if
Joe Burrow.
Alex Burrow. I always call him Alex Burrow.
Alex Burrows.
Yeah, Alex Burrows. Yeah. If Joe Burrow, doesn't start, then Cincinnati, they're dumb. B, they just wasted their money,
Yeah, I agree.
on a week 1 starter. Because
Burrow's
NFL,
starting. I think it's
16
confirmed.
weeks.
I think it's already announced. I think they were announced.
Yeah.
I think they announced it the week before the draft.
Roger, that was the first pick and now starting quarterback.
The bad example, but you know what I mean, right? Like, especially in the NFL, you only have 16 weeks. You can't waste a starter. NHL, not as serious, but you're not going to waste your money.
But you look later overall picks. Like, see exactly. A light bulb just
a later overall pick.
Yeah. A later overall pick.
You have an idea, Tommy? You have an idea?
A later overall pick usually waits.
It depends on their training camp, though. It depends. If they have an insane training camp and they're beating out some of the first picks, they're beating out some of the first round guys in drills, then you're like, okay, maybe I want to keep this guy on in a 4th round, second round, third line. Mm-hmm. But it's not first round anyway. Let's move on.
Yeah, but like a quarterback in the NFL, that was rough. But in a quarterback in the NFL, what the one thing they say is you can't throw him to the Lions right away. But Burrow's getting thrown.
He doesn't have a choice.
Right, here you go, Burrow. They're just throwing. Cincinnati's just like, here you go. Let's just see what happens.
They hand him the keys to the kingdom, and they say good luck.
Where a guy like Tua or Justin Herbert, they're holding back a little bit because they have.
Mm-hmm. Even though I think Tua is probably going to start week 1.
Yeah, he is, which is foolish in my opinion.
But
we'll talk about that next time. But see, they're a bit more hesitant because
they can be, right?
Mm-hmm, they have the luxury of doing that. Cincinnati has no luxury. The GM's like, look, if you don't start, I got 6 months left in this building. So go, Joe, go.
No,
just do what you did at
and it's
LSU. I have no talent. Just do it. Just go.
And it's expected because people wait all this time from not only that we're waiting from the draft, we're waiting from last season. This season when he tears it up, we're waiting. Okay, we want to see this kid in NFL action. Why would you waste? You only have 16 games.
Yeah.
So he only has 16 chances to start. Maybe
I
unless
agree.
he goes to the playoffs. Why would you waste the fans' times, and why would you waste the team's time and seeing if this guy can play or not? Why would you say, we're going to hold off? We're going to see if he – no, you want to see if that guy can play the first week
sometimes
of
it
the
works.
first game.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Like, how many years did Aaron Rodgers sit behind Brett Favre?
Many.
But that's Brett
Like
Favre,
3 years. Like a long time.
Yeah, but
Like- 3 years is a
Like
long time in football
Garoppolo
games.
behind – I'm not saying Garoppolo's an elite quarterback, but Garoppolo spent a few years behind Brady,
yeah.
right? It is Steve Young behind Joe Montana. It's just part of the development. I'm not saying Herbert is the Steve Young because Tyrod Taylor's
is
not Joe
Joe
Montana.
Montana, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't want to throw them into the
wanting
like
time
you don't
to
want
develop their skills. 'cause
Exactly.
It's a big change from
it's a huge change.
college to NFL.
I think
Different
Herbert
world.
would be fine because he was a 4-year starter in college.
Still,
But
everyone's open in college. No one's open in NFL.
that is very true. It's a huge difference, and there's a huge difference between junior hockey and the NHL. But usually, like you said, Gav, the top 2 picks usually right out of the gate
Oh, yeah.
are a second line player.
Yeah.
At least.
At least a second line. And I think, if anything, there's a bigger difference than in junior hockey compared to the NHL as opposed to the NFL and college. Because in college, I mean, you're getting guys who have been doing this since they've been bulking up and they've been hitting the weight room every day since long before. And in the NHL, in the Q and in the WHL and in the OHL, you're playing against 14-year-olds. You're playing against
With
kids.
the exception thing.
You're
what's
playing
it
against
called?
kids.
The
Yeah, because there's
exceptional acceptance or
exactly
something?
whatever. Because these kids don't go to school. It's hockey, right? Hockey. I'm not gonna say much about hockey, but these kids don't go to school.
Yeah.
And you get Lafreniere. Yeah, he's tearing it up. This is the best development league. This is the best minor system in the world. Obviously, in the CHL.
He had the
But
best Q number since Crosby.
He has, yeah, but. Some of these goalies are 14. Some of these goalies are studying Christopher Columbus, in school. Not to take anything away, but I'm saying in college football, you're getting men. In the CHL, you got some children skating around there, So.
Yeah, 100%. But I am looking forward to seeing what the Rangers do. I'm looking forward to the Canadian as a Bruins fan. Rask left and Halak looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. But
no sweat off your back.
no sweat off my back. The Canadians, I'm happy for them that they're doing well. Never thought I'd say that. But I'm happy to see that Price is returned to his old form. Hockey's in a great spot. And I want to see if Lafreniere is a Senator. Maybe by the time this episode comes out. I think they might wait. They might wait closer to the draft. But I wouldn't be surprised that trade went through.
That would be interesting. But so what we're going to do right now, real quick, is I'll have the Stanley Cup playoffs bracket right here with me right now. It's already a lot of the.
I'm sorry, I checked out for a second.
Some
That's
of
how the light
no,
went off.
some of the some of the series are already pretty much over, but nonetheless, we'll read through them real quick. I'll give you guys what the series stands at right now.
Yeah, because the Islanders are 3 up on the Caps, so I'm gonna go Islanders.
Is it gonna go?
I don't know.
Some are easier than others. Some are almost done. Some could have.
I don't know the
tonight.
score in the Habs game right now. It'd be better if you know. Tell me, what's the score in the Habs game right now?
Are we
but
just doing the
Vegas
first
lost
round?
Tonight. We'll do the first round.
The first round, okay.
I have Islanders over Capitals because they're up 3-0.
Okay, so right
I
now,
don't know, Tommy.
first one we'll look at Vegas versus Chicago. Currently,
Vegas.
Vegas is leading 3-1.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
All right, Vegas. Yeah, I think that's pretty. They need to win
Yeah,
one more.
I can't even talk.
All right, next one, Colorado, Arizona. Colorado leads 2-1.
Colorado.
There's another dude. Come on.
Colorado.
Colorado. Johnny?
McKinnon's
I'm
been
agree.
amazing.
McKinnon, as usual, has been amazing.
And Rantanen. Cale McCarr. Where's it? But Arizona's shocked a lot of people. No one thought they were going to beat Nashville. And Taylor Hall stocks on the UFA. He's gonna get a lot of money.
I hope so. I like to see him do well.
Me too. He's a good, great. I feel like
Great guy.
he
Friend of the
wasted a
show.
lot of his friend of the show. Wasted a lot of his time in Edmonton. Goes to New Jersey, wins an MVP. Going to Arizona has kind of changed the culture in Arizona.
A little bit. I like to see that. Yep.
But Colorado.
All right, next up, Dallas versus Calgary. Currently tied 2-2, so this one could go out of the way.
I'm gonna go Calgary.
Calgary, okay.
I like what Calgary has.
Mm-hmm.
As do I. You know what? I see that.
Johnny,
Yeah, I'm agree with you there.
have you
Tommy.
picked yet prediction yet?
Yeah, I have. I've been
Okay.
agreeing with you every time.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. He's not straight
Great
too
minds
far.
think alike, right?
I don't blame you. This guy's good. All right, next one: Vancouver versus the reigning champions St. Louis. Currently 2-0 for
Yeah.
Vancouver.
I think I'm gonna go St. Louis on this one.
You think they're gonna come back?
Okay,
I
St.
think
Louis.
so.
Oh wow, they're gonna come back. Okay.
I
It's
don't
only
know.
2-0.
See,
It's only 2-0. You're right. It's only
Yeah.
2-0. It's not the end.
I don't know, but I've been so impressed with Vancouver. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment either. I'll go Vancouver in 6.
Vancouver in 6.
But
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of St. Louis just flip the switch.
Yeah.
They've done it. They did it last year.
Yep, they did it.
I forget who did they beat in the.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it was
yeah,
the.
yeah. You know where the door is, Johnny. Let's go to the next
All right,
one
now
before
we're
I
going to the
cry.
Eastern Conference, and currently the game is 1-0 for the Flyers at the end of the second.
All right.
Oh.
The series out is tied 1-1 after a huge win from the Habs on Saturday night. Who do you
I'm going to pick Philly.
I think.
I gotta agree with you there.
Well,
I
Montreal-
don't
But I'm
think-
cheering for Montreal.
I'm cheering for
Me
Montreal.
too.
We have the jersey in the rafters right
Yeah.
now,
Where is it?
right behind
there.
Tommy.
No. You're too kind.
Yeah, you're welcome. And look at that. Expos. Oh, all
A lot of
Tommy's here.
Montreal.
A lot of Montreal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
That's the
Expos,
Canadian side.
Toronto,
That's the
yeah.
Canadian side.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Montreal Price could steal the series though. I'll go Philly in 7.
I'm gonna say
Philly in
Philly.
7?
I'm gonna say Philly in 6.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have this one. By the way that things are going, this series might go on for another 4 years because they have one of the longest games in NHL history.
Tampa.
And Columbus Blue Jackets. Currently 2-1 for Tampa.
I like Tampa.
Oh, that's so tough.
I think I like Tampa to win that. What about you, Tommy?
Tampa in 7.
Tampa. and
But
San-
I love Columbus. The way Tortorella is such a good coach, and Seth Jones is phenomenal. It's gonna be a
Seth
great
Jones
series.
played an hour and 5 minutes
Yeah,
Jesus.
on the big
and he
game.
didn't even look tired.
Didn't even look. He could have gone
And
another
the
hour.
goalie
and
they
5
have there, Corpusalo, his name is.
Yeah,
he was.
someone-
He had 85 saves.
Heck of a game, no matter where.
But
It's a lot
they
of
won the
saves.
next one after, so Columbus is gonna give him a. It's only 2-1, like you said, Gav. Like a game, you win a game, it's 2-2.
In hockey, it can go either way. It can go either way.
I think
you know?
7.
The score means nothing until it's 4-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Or unless it's 4,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, so Washington and the Islanders, New
Islanders,
York,
it's
3
3-0.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 up.
That's done.
That's easy.
And finally, the Boston Bruins and the Carolina Hurricanes. Boston's currently up 2-1.
Bruins.
Bruins.
Well,
Bruins.
Carolina's a solid team. I think Bruins, year by year choke artists. So we'll go Carolina.
Carolina. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you got
Not-
balls,
not
Johnny.
biased at all.
You got
Not
not biased
biased
at
at
all.
all.
Choke artists. Okay, I believe you. Not biased.
I'm just staring at the camera in disbelief right now. That's just pure hatred. That was not your
that
mind.
one, yeah.
That
No,
was
no,
not.
I'm kidding. Boston's gonna beat them.
Okay.
I'll say
thank
Boston
you.
in 6.
Boston in 6. Okay.
I believe it or not, I think Halak is an improvement right now over Rask in the net. I think we saw that on Saturday.
His head was
He had the
Rask's
one
head just not in
bonehead
it.
thing, the one bonehead pass, which was a terrible goal. Like he just passed it right to the
Yeah.
Carolina guy. Besides that, sensational. 29 saves on 30 shots. Rask looked a bit out of it, and we needed a double overtime to win the first one. But I think with Halak, he's been great. I got Bruins in 6.
All right, well that does it for the NHL playoff bracket.
Yes.
But since we last met up, there's been some big news in the NHL world. We finally have a name for the new team that's going to the
Release
league.
the Kraken.
The Seattle Kraken will be playing out at the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington.
I
What do you
like
guys
the
think of-
jerseys.
What do you guys? You like the jerseys?
Jerseys are
I do like the
Yeah.
jerseys.
Here's
surprising
the name
ones.
Kraken.
I like Krakens.
Take it or leave it.
Put an S
Well, 'cause
on it.
Yeah, the McCrakens.
Yeah, well, there, exactly.
Your
The
cousins.
Krakens.
Yeah.
Put an S on it.
Krakens
Yeah, you
is.
gotta have an ass on that.
I mean, whenever there's like a single, I'm not a
Just
huge
sounds
fan of
weird.
that. The single, like, look at I don't know,
the Dallas Star.
the Dallas Star. It just doesn't sound.
The Boston Bruin.
It doesn't sound like pro sports. Pro sports is
Yeah.
always SSSSS, and then you get like the Wind or the Fire, or Miami Heat. That's the only one that really sounds good. But
Yeah.
like whenever it's a
You
singular,
know, an
it's not
Avalanche
great.
is cool.
Avalanche is cool, but
But it ends in an E. That's
whatever.
that's a weird one.
the Krakens is kind of. Yeah, you know what? I'm not.
I like it.
I'll leave it to the experts in the
I would have
NHL
preferred
public.
Marketing
Krakens. I would have
experts.
preferred Krakens with
Me
an
too. I
S.
think it sounds better too when you add the
The
S.
Seattle
Seattle
Krakens.
Krakens.
Yeah.
It might even develop.
What about
to that.
I have an idea for a basketball team in Seattle. Call them the Supersonics.
Oh,
Is that an idea? You
No,
like that?
we'll take Supersonic. We'll do
Yeah,
Supersonic.
Supersonic?
Yeah,
Supersonic.
Seattle
One word?
Supersonic.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so what I've done We have the new name. Some like it, some absolutely hate it. But
what I do like is the Space Needle on the
jerseys are cool, and
Yeah.
the logo is pretty rad. I'll give it that. But there have been some names that people just outright hated or found very weird. And the league that is most famous in the world, I would say, at least in English, for weird sports names, is minor league baseball. Minor league baseball has 8,000 teams, so they have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to naming things ridiculous.
You can't. There's only so many teams you can call the Yankees. So many teams you can name after a color sock.
There's only so many cool animals out there.
Yeah.
You can't. Every
That's
team
true.
can't be named the Bears, the Lions, the Tigers. You got to throw in some river cats or some weird stuff. So what I've done is I've compiled a list of some of the weirdest.
And there's only so many years.
And there's only so many years you could.
The
76,
49,
77, 78.
yeah, I know.
49 or
So-
And he
76.
said there's 8,000. So unless there's a team called like the Salt Lake City, again going to Utah, 8,000s, maybe.
You never
I don't
know.
You never know.
So what I've done, I've compiled a list of some of the weirdest minor league baseball team names,
And
and
there's
I've
a lot
also
of
made
them.
some up. So you guys
Oh, we're gonna have to guess.
are gonna have to guess. Maybe educated guess. Maybe some of these you'll know. Some of these you'll have to guess. If you know it, just say what you know, and don't. You
Can
don't
I
have
just
to-
say my favorite right now is in the CHL,
Let's hear it.
the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles.
Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. Yeah, that's a
God
good
bless the
That's a
Cape
solid
Breton.
name.
My favorite Q team.
That's
The
a
Cape Breton Screaming Eagles.
that's a
Just
mouthful.
based on the name.
That's a mouthful for sure.
Why
the Cape,
Screaming
The
Eagle?
Cape Breton Screaming
Yeah, why not regular Eagles?
and
I think they were probably taken.
Screaming Eagle and the Quebec Major
You an
Junior.
Eagles fan? No, I'm a Screaming Eagles
The
fan.
Q is not exactly an English league, and Screaming Eagles
Well, they're in Nova Scotia, right?
is
So-
an English name. So imagine you're in Rimouski playing this Screaming Eagle. It's not gonna sound pretty on the wireless
Yeah.
anyway.
But I like the Q names. The Q names
Q,
are cool.
this-
The Ramparts are cool.
Ramparts are
Oceanic's
really
cool.
cool. Montreal Junior, remember that?
That was very lazy.
Yeah. So
The Oceanics.
who are we playing tonight?
cool.
We're playing the Washington football team. Oh, there's another one. People are getting lazy as we go. All right.
Yeah,
so
I know.
here's what we'll do. So
Screw it. They don't even need a new name. Just call them the Washington
the
football
team.
team.
You know what? Why
The
not?
band,
better
like the
better than
band.
Kraken.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll read you the team names. You guys, you can confer. You can think about it. You let me know if it is a real team name or if I just made it
Do
up.
we have to agree or is it?
No, you don't have to
Okay,
agree.
okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. So the first one we have, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Is that a real minor league baseball team with fans
It
in an
has to
actual
be.
stadium
It has
and
to-
I
actual
think it
players
is,
who
too.
wear the jerseys, or is that made up?
I
yeah,
think
I think I've heard it before, or
Iron
maybe
Pigs.
you said it. I don't know.
Maybe I just made it up.
Yeah, maybe you made it up, but I'll go. Yeah, it's a
I'm gonna
team.
go yes too.
You guys both say yes. The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs is a real minor league baseball team. You guys
Yeah.
are both correct.
Yeah.
The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs do play baseball, have players, a jersey, and a devoted fan base. Believe it or not.
I wonder what their hats look like.
Uh,
It's just a giant
it's
pig.
honestly, it's an
pig?
iron pig.
Yeah,
It's literally an iron
sounds
pig.
legit.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll go
Like
number
a
two.
Lord of the Flies
Yeah.
head pig on it, and it's like,
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
what
who
it is.
knows?
That's literally what it is.
What?
That's what-
I've been going down there for a few years now.
okay,
Got
yeah.
season
Tom actually has
tickets.
season
Yeah, I have
tickets.
season tickets for the Iron Pigs.
God damn it, I knew it. All right. Next up is the Jackson City Jelly Beans. The Jackson City Jelly Beans
Jackson
of the
City
minor league
Jelly
baseball
Beans.
league.
Jackson City Jelly Beans.
That's quite a name.
No.
I feel like it could be. I feel like all of them could be, right? Shoot. You say no, Tommy?
I'll say no.
I'm gonna say yes.
So we have Tommy says no. Johnny says
I
yes.
think the alliteration is what does it for
The
me.
Jackson City Jelly Beans are a made-up baseball team that I just made up
Dun,
right
dun,
here for you guys right now.
dun.
Got you,
Jelly
Johnny.
beans.
Got you
No one's
tonight.
that
You
desperate
got me
for a
good.
team name.
You'd be surprised.
Hey, the alliteration, Jackson City Jelly
It's a.
Beans.
You know what? How do I know
Yeah.
tomorrow morning someone's not gonna have the inspiration to create?
Maybe
Just
after
wait.
someone watches this, Jackson City Jelly Beans become a team.
Never know, for the Miami Marlins or something.
Next, the New York Red Bull. No, I'm joking.
Next up, the Montreal No.
Yeah.
All right. So number 3, we have the Poughkeepsie Pillow Fights. The Poughkeepsie Pillow Fights.
That can't be a team.
That sounds like too made up. That must be real. That's what that means.
I'll go no. It
I'm
can't.
gonna say yes.
No and yes. Same outcome as last time. This is a made-up team.
Come on.
Poughkeepsie
Johnny
Pillow
Pillow
I feel like
Fight.
it's too
Come on.
obvious.
John, this is
I think
way
it's
too
too
obvious. Trust your
obviously a
gut,
made-up
man.
Maybe I'm just
Iron
good at it.
Pigs
I'm
I can
overthinking.
relate to.
I'm
Iron
overthinking.
Pigs are dope, man.
overthinking
No. No.
No, that's a completely made. I hope. Pillow Fights. We were seeing, the
What's
great
the matter
game
with
last
you?
night between the Iron Pigs and the Pillow Fights.
That sounded a bit
You see that one?
ridiculous.
What is this?
3
grade
dingers.
5? Was it grade 2-year-olds? Fuck.
3 dingers for Sanchez, the catcher for the Pillow Fights last
The
night.
Pillow Fights are on a hell of a
Okay,
win.
okay, my bad.
All right,
Next
number
one.
4,
Having a hell of a season.
the Akron Rubber Ducks. The Akron, Ohio Rubber Ducks.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm overthinking again. I don't know.
Trust your gut.
My gut
Yeah,
says
but-
no.
The Akron Rubber Ducks are a real baseball team.
I am drop
in,
kicking
I
them.
believe, the Cleveland Indians Association.
What are they
real-
calling it? The Akron?
The Akron Rubber Ducks, yeah.
It's not rubber
So-
duckies,
So
Johnny.
rubber
It's
Rubber
ducks.
ducks.
is
They're in the
legit?
Just
Just
video
notice a thing. They do an animal and they put a cool thing in front of it, like Iron Pig. Iron
Yes, that's
Maiden.
true.
No, Iron Pig. Something ducks. Pillow Fights. Come on, man.
All right, next
Whatever.
up, see if Tommy can apply his logic. 5, the Hartford Yard Goats. The Hartford, Connecticut. Johnny, you should know this.
Johnny.
You should know this.
This is a real team.
The Hartford Yard Goats.
Do I say I know it's a real team? But do I say no to close the gap?
No.
No, yes.
Yeah.
It's a real
Okay,
team.
so yes, both a real.
Yeah.
The Hartford Yard Goats are a real team. I believe in the Rockies organized. I could be wrong.
I've actually seen their stadium.
You've
Drove
seen
past
that
it.
beautiful
Yeah.
stadium. I know.
Very nice.
I've had some friends who have actually played in that stadium. Not for the Yard Goats, but in minor ball.
Wow.
Hell of a stadium.
Yeah, it is very.
I
nice.
like these names. They need to put these in professional.
They're in the video
ranks.
game. If you want to go look, if you can play with the
No,
Hartford.
but like imagine the Yankees. Yeah, we're changing our name
Oh.
to the
New York Yard Goats.
yeah, the Yard Goats.
That would be good.
New
That would
York
be good.
Garden Snakes.
Yeah,
I think we got it.
All right, so
the
Hartford
New
Yard
York
Goats.
Astros.
Never.
I'm joking. That was just salt in the wound.
All right, next up is the Richmond Flying Squirrels.
Yes,
The Richmond
100%.
Flying Squirrels.
That has to be. Yes, Johnny.
I don't know, man.
Flying Squirrels has to
Flying
be a team name
Squirrels.
because it's an actual animal.
Okay, I'll go yes. I'll go by Tommy's
You
theory.
guys both say yes. Tommy's theory proves correct yet again. The
Okay.
Richmond
Gotcha.
Flying
I'm happy I
Squirrels
listened
are
to
a
you.
real team in Virginia.
Yeah.
Real team. Haven't playing ball for quite some time. Devoted fan base.
Very.
A lot of fans.
The fans in Richmond are great. You know.
Which what?
They produce many
Yeah,
pro ballers, some Hall of Famers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, number 7 is the Catalina Chicken Men. Catalina, a small town in California. The Catalina Chicken Men. Is this a real ball club or something I just made
It
up?
can't be.
I don't know, man.
Don't do it. It can't be.
What do you think, Tommy? You answer
No.
first. You answer first. No. I'm gonna say no too. I'm gonna say
You
no
guys
too.
both say no. You guys are both correct. The Catalina Chicken Men is a made-up team.
Thank
you.
God.
I'm pretty good. Have I got one wrong
What
yet?
is a chicken man? If that is a game,
I don't think I've gotten one
Tommy's
wrong.
gotten one
Tommy's
wrong.
been on fire,
No.
man.
Either this is too weird.
Well, I love the
easy,
minor
or
league
Tommy's-
baseball system. You know, it does
Tommy
great
knows
things for
every
these
team.
players.
Yeah. Either this is too easy or Tommy knows every team. All right, closing in now. Number 8, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
I know for a fact that's a team name.
Tommy knows for a fact it's a team
Yeah.
name.
Because
Because
I remember
Johnny-
You know
people.
for a
I
fact.
remember seeing something about I remember seeing it like on a sports page.
If you know
It's
for a
like you
fact,
know
then
your
I'll go for
team's
it.
hurting if you're called the.
Jumbo shrimp.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, you are. The streak continues because you were correct again. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp is a real team. It's a very real team.
These names are nuts. I love it. It's so cool.
Crazy.
All right, number 9.
Eventually, there's gonna be like an MLS team called like the Montreal Tommy Johns.
Oh, there
'cause,
there
like,
will be.
ads.
But it'll be named after the surgery, not the show, because the surgery will be.
Okay.
They'll
all
have
right.
to rename the surgery for conflict of interest.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, we're gonna make them do it. We're gonna make them do it one day. All right, number 9, the Dartmouth Double Doubles, playing out of Canada. The Dartmouth Double Doubles, named after the famous double double
No.
at Tim Hortons.
No.
Where's Dartmouth?
It's
See,
Dart-
I
The-
believe
that
it's
al-
out east. I
the
believe it's out
alliteration-
east.
The alliteration scares me because a lot of teams go like that. The 3-name.
They like
alliteration.
da-da-da-da-da. Just like the
Tommy says no.
Jacksonville
I'ma
Jumbo
say-
Shrimp.
I'ma
and
say
the,
yes.
And the Jackson City Jelly Beans. You say yes,
Yes.
Johnny.
no. I
You
said
say
no.
no.
Come on, give me one.
The Dartmouth Double Doubles is a fake team. Johnny, who in their right mind is gonna name a team after a coffee? A double
Listen,
doubles.
I could think of like Double Day. The guy who supposedly
Okay.
invented baseball.
Okay.
You
You know what? The Double Days, the Cooperstown Double Days. I could go see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But Dartmouth Double Doubles.
But they're called the double doubles, not the double days. And
I
he
know,
tried,
but
and he
I don't
tried
know,
selling.
maybe.
His selling point was the coffee.
I hate this game, man. Who agreed to this?
All right,
I
finally, last. I'm getting paid a
Did
lot.
I win? Am I winning? Did I win this one? I think it's over.
I think
You've
it's
won
close.
out right now.
But
though.
this is for
This-
perfection.
This one's just a formality.
This is just for
This
perfection.
is for perfection.
If I get this one
Let's
right,
see if I
I
can
win.
get
If I
Tommy
this one
here.
right, I win.
Finally,
This is worth 1,000,000 points. It's
Number
like
10.
every TV show. If it's out of our okay, this one's worth
Yeah, this
1,000
one's worth it.
points.
Okay,
Just
Tommy,
take it or leave it.
this one's
Sure.
to win outright and become the Tommy John Show champion outright for getting the first perfect score in a Tommy John Show game.
Can I just say a little throwback? Remember when J.J. Watt was rated 98?
That
Just
was
a little
funny.
throwback. That was pretty funny. All right, let's go.
It's
Is it
ridiculous.
funnier?
Is J.J. Watt a 98? No. Well, funny enough, you're wrong.
Yeah.
What?
Keller Murray's a 74.
Yeah, that was
All right.
atrocious.
Finally, number 10. If Tommy can get the first perfect score in Tommy John Show history, are the Greenbow Gumpies
Oh, this is.
a real minor league baseball team? The Greenbow Gumpies.
See, I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because Greenbow's from Forrest Gump. So, but I don't know if it's a real town. And Greenbow Gumpies.
I'm gonna say yes.
No. No way. Show me.
Because I just want to go against Tommy.
Johnny says yes.
And this is winner take all.
I
so.
said no.
This is winner take all. If
winner
Tommy
take
gets this wrong, then
No,
Johnny
I
wins
win.
outright,
Yeah.
obviously.
I did not agree to these
Too
two.
bad.
Number 10,
I said no.
the Greenbow Gumpies.
No.
Tommy says this is not a real team
hear yes.
because he is not sure if Greenbow, Alabama is an actual place.
It probably is, but I don't know if they'd be called the Gumpies.
They like their gumbo.
I don't
down
know,
there, man.
we've
They
seen
like the
the
gumbo.
Gumpies.
You'd be surprised
Hey.
how much of an impact film has on sports. We've seen it with the Anaheim
does that mean
Mighty
it is
Ducks.
a team?
Tommy, do you want to change your answer?
No.
No, dude, it's
No,
locked
it's
in.
over.
It's
I
The
locked
can't.
in.
Greenbow Gumpies are a made-up baseball team.
Yes!
Tommy scores the first perfect score in the Tommy John
Honestly,
Show
you
game
think they're
record.
actually called the Gumpies if a team was from Greenbow?
What if it's like gumbo, man? You know?
But they'd be called the Gumbos, not the
well, I don't
Gumpies.
know. Maybe they wanted to sound better.
Gumpies.
Johnny, your logic is there. Your logic isn't terrible with
It's just
the
there's no logic behind
alliteration.
these
You
names.
think
the
after a
There's no
while he would have
logic.
started using the same answer as me?
But Tommy, that's impressive. You did know some of them.
I knew
but
the
that's
Jacksonville one.
the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and you also knew the Hartford Yard Goats. So that's two.
I
under
didn't
your
know.
belt.
Actually, the Yard Goats. I just followed Johnny's lead on that
And then
one.
Yeah,
some
I
were
knew that
easy,
one.
like Poughkeepsie Pillow Fights. Johnny, Poughkeepsie
Listen,
really.
listen.
Double doubles.
The
When
double-
you were explaining the coffee, I'm like, if Johnny picks yes, I'm gonna
Nonetheless,
All right, I like the.
we had
henceforth-
fun. This was a fun one.
Uh-huh.
Johnny. And as winner, I'm gonna make you wrap up the show.
Oh, really? Wow.
Generous. The generosity.
I don't
coming
know
from the
why I
champion.
did that, but yeah.
I
But-
will.
so just for the record, guys, I got every name right, or I guessed every name that was right and that was wrong.
Yeah.
I can't believe you thought the Gumpies were a team.
That's okay. I'm gonna. My resignation will be on
You
your
just
desk
know
on Monday.
Greenbow is where Greenbow, Alabama, Forrest
Greenbow.
Gump.
Super
And
duper
Gump, they
ducks.
called the Gumpies.
Well,
You never
Forrest, Bubba Gump, one of the best and fanciest restaurants.
Oh,
in
by far.
America.
5-star dining.
5-star. If you don't go there in a suit, they will kick you out. If
You have to go in the white suit and like the
Tuxedo,
blue
actually,
and
tuxedo.
white shirt that Forrest Gump wore.
They
throughout
will
the
say,
whole movie
"Sir, you
with
have-
white Nike shoes."
Sir, you're a joke. You are a joke to this establishment. You have to leave. But you can
They
take
call the
some. You can
cops.
take the coloring mask.
Remember in Office Space, Jennifer Aniston has all the beads on
Yeah,
it?
she got tchotchkes.
Yeah, Chatsky. Want to go to Chatsy's?
Get some coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have 15 pieces of flair,
Yeah.
then we're gonna have to ask you to leave. And unfortunately, that's
Yeah.
the same thing at Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
You have to wear a tuxedo. So this is when the borders open up, and people make their way back down south,
Mhm.
and you go to a restaurant. If you want to go to Forrest Gump, you have to wear a tuxedo.
Bubba
This is
Gump.
the Tommy John Show. Bubba Gump, excuse
Yeah.
me. This is Tommy John Show telling you you have to wear a tuxedo or a suit,
Full tux.
at least a 3-piece suit. If you're not
Yeah.
going to wear a tux, you have to wear a 3-piece
And if you wear the T-shirt with the tux on it, that's even worse.
that's you
Oh
will
my
get,
God,
actually
they'll
get. They
throw
will
you in
call the
jail.
cops on you.
yeah.
So it's a tuxedo.
What's it called again, those
A,
shirts?
a tuxedo shirt.
Yeah.
Tuxedo
That's it,
shirt.
Alex.
Oh, those are the worst.
So it's either a tuxedo, a 3-piece suit, or the suit that Forrest Gump had, or you will get kicked out. So that's all I have. Just a little word of advice to our
and wear a
travelers.
mask.
And of course, wear a mask. Yeah.
Johnny,
Well, I think that's all for today, right?
I believe so.
Well, for Tommy Lane, Gruesome Gavin Delaney, I'm Johnny Mishas. Thank you for listening to Tommy John Show, and we'll see you next week.
And go Dartmouth double doubles, man.
Go Poughkeepsie Pillow Fights.